I think some families see that tuition number and just can't even absorb it. And I can remember driving home from Curry one day where I took one of my football players out to Curry, and he had grown up in the Franklin Hill housing projects, and he lives in the projects in Cambridge. And he wasn't someone who I would consider to be very detail or numbers focused. And while we were driving up Blue Hill Ave, he was reading through the tuition statement at Curry, and he said, "Gooch, we can't afford this." And I said, "Fitz, hang in there. No, most Americans can't afford anything they can do. Just relax. Let's wait for the financial aid package." And that's the difference between a kid from the projects, right, whose mother has been through, challenge after challenge, who looks at that and says, "No way." And the mother says, "Are you crazy? Absolutely no way." And the middle class kid whose parents are used to borrowing or used to going through that process. And I guess in closing, I would just say that we have so much work to do going back to, and I serve on the education committee, which is great. So I have that synergy between education and higher ed. And I think it's so critical that folks like you engage or re-engage in the K-12 battle, because I talked about guidance today, but how those students make those decisions is so acutely imperative. And the kids I deal with can't lose a year. They don't recover from a bad decision typically. And I think having you folks on the outside, putting that pressure on 12th grade guidance and how that transitioned into the right decisions, and people like myself, and I know Chairman Teresi and the Secretary, recognizing the importance of your campuses as part of a system, and not a competition, but as part of a system. And I think that the cultural challenges that we continue to face, I represent a large number of kids of color, a large number of Latinos in my district. I had a girl up in my office yesterday who was one of the most impressive young people I've met in a long time, who took AP classes, who did the right stuff, and at some point just decided, why should I go to college? And I was shocked to hear that. That would never happen in a third generation household or a middle class household. She just lost sight of why it was important. And I think we have to re-engage in those battles in our cities across the Commonwealth where we have those cultural challenges. And I've been and will continue to be a huge supporter of standards. When I became mayor, if SATs are the gauge, then you know what, our kids better be performing. And I'm not one of those people that spends a lot of time fighting over standardized tests, because I was lousy at them, but you know what, I studied harder for them and put more time in, and ultimately I got past it. To me, the standards are less important than us making sure that the students that we really care about, the students that are falling behind, are equipped to overcome those challenges. So I'm going to continue to talk about the relationship between guidance, AP prep, college prep, how we view individual students, how we support those students that have not thought about a college track, and how we give individual school systems those support. FAFSA is up this year, but it has been an embarrassment, quite frankly, as to how many students don't even fill out that FAFSA form. And if I will try to convince the Secretary to ensure that every system across the Commonwealth does a couple things. One, do a PSAT during school hours. To me, it's absolutely absurd that we chase our kids around to go take a test on Saturday. If we've deemed the PSAT to be important, then guess what? Taking a day to do it in school, to me, should be mandatory. Take the test. Filling out the FAFSA, get it done during the school day. Everyone fill it out, stop for 2 hours, help these kids, and I've dealt with these kids that just don't get the support at home. They ask for a tax return from home, forget it. But do those things in school so we make sure that they get done. So you're going to hear me say some things that after they sift through the media process will probably appear to be very controversial. And I hope now that you've gotten to know me, you'll appreciate where it's coming from, because I think we all share the same passion for kids, and that's really where it comes from. I've had great times working with private college presidents over the years. In fact, I was one of the few folks who really got along well with Larry Summers, and I'll tell you, I think the reason for that incredible clarity we had with our relationship is neither one of us liked each other one bit. So we never had 1 minute where we were unclear. Thanks very much. I look forward to working with all of you.